Welcome, everyone. Okay. It's very lovely to be together. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. So if you can either close your eyes or turn your gaze inward and welcome your experience as it is. Invite yourself to simply be. You don't need to do anything or try to figure anything out. Let things be as they are. There's no personal mission. Just an opportunity to sink into presence as a way of speaking. Notice whatever sensations appear to you. There are no words to describe. No need for any description, no need for mentation. If a certain commentary arises, it's okay. You don't need to engage in it or struggle with it. Just let it be as it is. In a way, you're inviting yourself to the openness, holding on to nothing. There's no effort in being, in presence, in awareness, because there is no separate entity doing anything. Images may appear to you. You remain undefined. There is a certain sweetness to noticing, a certain sweetness to awareness. Because it is relaxed, it is free, it is effortless. Every moment is complete freshness, brand new. No past, no future. Awareness shines effortlessly. Your entire experience is soaked in awareness. The gentle breath, the warmth of the body, the heartbeat, the distant sound of traffic, which is not so distant. There is no separate entity anywhere outside of our belief in one or our imagination. But in this moment, which is timeless, there is no separation because there is no time, no distance. Time and distance appear to you. They appear to you as thoughts, perceptions, but these thoughts and perceptions are completely intimate with you meaning awareness. Intimacy, the intimacy of oneness, of wholeness, the intimacy of love, the intimacy of being. So, whenever you detect an effort, ask yourself, on whose behalf is this effort being exerted? Find yourself going into mind, into thinking, into sensations and feelings, which are simply images on the screen, ripples on the surface of the pond. The ripples do not define the pond. The images on the screen do not define the screen. Contemplate that right now in this moment, the reality which perceives, which hears these words, is invisible to the senses. One could say it's transparent, formless, and yet undeniable. Awareness, consciousness is its own proof. The perfume of awareness is peace, causeless peace, freedom, happiness. as the mind is soaked or illuminated by this peace, there's clarity, a flow, a gentle flow, undisturbed flow. Because being is not disturbed by its creation, its creativity. Because there is nothing outside of being. Being is and cannot not be. Non-being is an oxymoron, is. Being is and non-being is not and has never been. So we invite ourselves in, not just during this meeting, but throughout our life, to act from non-activity, to speak from the silence. We explore effortlessness, love, harmonious living. Complete availability to whatever seems to appear. There may be a tendency to resist, to seek, to argue. But like when the sun shines on the ice, it melts it. Similarly, when love and understanding and love of truth shines in your life, guides you, these old tendencies weaken and lose their interest. So we say yes to love, to freedom, to beauty, to peace. To whatever appears, whatever is appearing on the screen, without needing to comprehend it. Because there is no thought in love, there is just love. She used to speak about the mind dropping into the heart. It's so beautiful. So if you have any questions, anything that you would like to explore, please make sure to unmute yourself and you can raise your hand and you can turn on your videos, as I love to see you if you care to do so. So any questions? Hello, Holger.
Thank you so much for this deep rest. Yeah, it's quite, there's a subtle, I still, there's a subtle fear inside of myself when I'm alone that I seem there. I mean, I understand theoretically it's just the me investment. Just don't. And I'm aware that it's an object arising, but still there is it's very sticky. And I don't have any agenda in order to remove it or something. I'm just observing it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
So observe it as much as possible without knowing it. In other words, to explore it freshly. In other words, to be open to it without necessarily identifying it or labeling it. Yes.
Mhm.
Of course, it's just an invitation. Yeah. I mean, it's not like this is what we must do, because in the absence of the analytical mind, in the absence of memory, in the absence of time, there's a shift that happens in our experience, from the storyline, which most often, in the case of fear, has a me, a subject that with a little sense of danger or something along those lines, to just a sort of a not knowingness. So whatever appears on the screen, if we can invite ourselves to be completely open to it, because the openness is not in time, it's not as a result of thinking. It is an intention of availability, of complete availability. And in complete availability, there is no duality, there is no separation. We start by, I am available. So then we open the doors, open the gates, remove the walls, and then there is no longer this side and that side, right? So while previously there was inside the jail and outside the jail, or inside the walls and outside the walls, in complete availability, it's all one field, a field of being, a field of awareness, a field of consciousness, a field of being, whatever the words are, it doesn't matter. So the issue is never with what is appearing on the screen, but our relationship with it, right? So whatever appears on the screen can be an opportunity to embrace it or being embraced by it as a way of speaking, to be not knowing with it. And it's a beautiful honesty towards oneself to sort of be true to one's experience, whichever way that means, what it signifies for you.
Thank you so much, Magdi. This is, your pointings are very precious to me.
There are no real problems, there are only imagined ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, what a joke. Yes, I'm aware of this. But still, I always fall again. I always fall again for
Yeah,
this me joker.
yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
There are just like ripples, when there is a
Yeah.
stone thrown in the water, there are ripples, for a certain period of time. And then the ripples, they dissolve, right? It's always in presence, yeah? Always in presence, right? Because it's always, you never experience anything before or after. Maybe, conceptually, yes, but experientially, it's always presence. The eternity of now, the eternity of being. And that's always available to us in a way, like from interest in thought to sort of being noticing itself, a noticing of presence, sort of as a way of speaking, like a returning home. I mean, the home which we never left, the home which we are.
And there's no requirement. I mean, there is no condition needed for presence to be recognized. I mean, I don't need to go in a monastery. I don't need to. I mean, it's always just in, it's always here.
We love the perfume of a rose, right? We walk in the rose garden. We
Yeah.
love the perfume of the rose. We don't fabricate that love. It's just like there is a draw, uh,
Yeah.
a, a joy uh, in the appreciation of the perfume of the rose. There is a similar joy in the appreciation of being. So within uh, consciousness, within being, within our true self, there is a love for our true self because our true self is oneness, wholeness. There isn't myself and yourself are two separate selves. And oneness means love. So love is inherent to our true nature, is inherent to consciousness. So there isn't a duty to love. We are love. We are love.
Yeah.
Right? And the illusory veil of the separate me and some other, a personal reality and another reality, this illusory dual reality or multiple reality is uh, loses its power in our understanding about awareness. Now, our understanding about awareness reveals that there is no beginning and ending to awareness. There isn't my awareness starts here and ends there, and your awareness starts there and ends. No, that's thought may say that, but the experience of awareness is seamless, borderless. One could say universal. And so, in in the understanding about the universality of awareness, the belief in personal self and personal other uh, has no foundation. But you can go directly to your experience in this moment. Outside of thought, is there any separation in this moment? outside of thought, without going to thought, without going to the past, without going to old knowledge in this moment. What is separation? It's an unfounded belief,
Fine.
which
Yeah,
how we justify it with storyline, with some argumentation.
some investment.
It's it's a investment with zero return, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, compound interest. Yes, yes. This, what's it called? A Sponzi scheme or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Thank you so much, Maggie.
Okay,
So
nice to see
precious.
you.
Thank
Nice to see you. Yeah,
you.
yeah, Ponzi scheme, right? Hmm. Hello, Sudha.
Hello, Magdi. This is like following up with some of the things you mentioned in the meditation and even conversation with Holger. And yes, I agree with you 100%. In my experience, there is no separation. I totally, I have looked for it and it's not there. At least in whatever tools I have, I can't find a separation. I agree with you. And then when we talk about this is what there's only moment to moment, right? Because it's just this moment and whatever arises. So when you made a statement to be not knowing in that moment, like whatever arises, and the reality is this thoughts, images, something or other arises. That's how it seems to be. And if there is there's sensations, bodily sensations, and I like when Holger mentioned fear, to me, one of the things that arises all the time is sadness, sorrow. I separately seem to know my true nature is pure love, bliss, and happiness without any storyline. But the texture of the feeling is, or in the body, is like tightness. So when you say to be not knowing in that moment, am I not supposed to call it tightness or observe it or label it as sorrow? I'm trying to see how, if I'm welcoming everything, I can't be welcoming only joy. I have to be welcoming to, am I not understanding this correctly? But I mean, if sorrow arises, that's what's arising in this moment. Tightness arises, that's what's arising in this moment. Can you shed some light on it?
You are welcoming the welcoming. There is before the label, before Namarupa, welcoming. It's love. Yes, and then Namarupa arises. This is sadness, this is sorrow, this is fill in the blanks. And then with the labeling comes a certain emotive impression or response.
Mm-hmm.
And then with that possibly triggers further thinking and engages the mind, the historical mind. And I'm not trying to diss the historical mind. I'm just pointing to be clear that before Namarupa is being.
Yeah.
Openness of being, formless being. And being has no issue or no struggle with form, with creation, because creation comes into being. It comes out of being into being, right? As a way of speaking. So what issue would being or presence or awareness or consciousness, what issue would it have with Namarupa, with names and forms creation? Nothing. So from that perspective, all is well. But then there is a perspective of ignorance, or the below the radar belief, the dormant belief, maybe not so dormant, but that I am some personal consciousness, a personal entity, a limited self. From that perspective, we're already cooked. It's already it's an ongoing struggle for something. Feeling better, improving my lot, etc. So, but all personal desires which arise out of an illusory personal self can only be illusory. There cannot be real goals or real desires arising out of a belief in being a personal self. And yet, we are drawn to engage into seeking better states, better experiences. For whom? For the personal self, for the imaginary me. There is another approach to all of this, which is a complete embrace. And there is, of course, there is intelligence. Intelligence is inherent to the humanoid. The intelligence which is wired into the system, basically having to do with survival and procreation. So I talk about like this complete openness, this embrace. Intelligence, would say, no, I'm not gonna go in that direction because it's not safe for the humanoid, for the body mind. But I'm talking from the psychological perspective. It does not negate intelligence to explore relating, living, not strictly from the Namarupa perspective, but from presence, from being. So it's an exploration, and of course, we need to be interested to a certain extent in this exploration. What is it to be without knowing? With, of course, whatever is appearing, one could say, on the screen, within the body, sensations, thoughts, experiences that happen to us, gain and loss, whatever seems to appear on the screen. What is it to be with these experiences in total intimacy, meaning without the psychological sense of threat? It's just an invitation. It's just an invitation. It's not like, okay, here is what you need to do, and then it's just, it's an interest, possibly an interest in exploring this direction. So that rather than approaching our experience from knowingness, meaning from the past, from accumulated knowledge. I'm not talking about understanding, accumulated knowledge, which is accumulated in the mind and in the body, much more so accumulated in the body than in the mind, in terms of the body has registers, all these things. But still, what is registered in the body, what appears in the body, sensation of fear or worry or whatever, appears to you. It is still a phenomenal event that appears to you, and then the question is, what is my relation? How am I going to relate with that feeling, that sensation? That am I going to repeat the past? Because we have patterns, patterns of blaming, justifying, of whatever. There's a whole spectrum of patterns. Am I going to repeat the past? Of course, that's possible. Am I interested in exploring responding or relating from not knowing? It may not appear safe to us. It may trigger some fear, what's going to happen to me if I let go of my habits, my tendencies? Because in a way, my responses and my way of relating are me. I mean, it's the me structure, it's the me thing, the me. And to explore relating from not knowing is like, it may appear like it's sort of a personal death or something, or it can have it can trigger some existential emotions, feelings, say. But over time, because of course, it's a whole, we're interested, so we experiment, we realize, oh, it's okay. I embraced it all. I was just open without knowing, just sort of there. And it was okay. It's not like it was no earthquake or. Plus, we have friends, whom we feel some sympathy with, that tell us, oh yeah, it's no problem. So, oh, okay, okay, maybe I'll give it a try. I don't know. Yeah. Healing doesn't come from the mind, it comes to the mind from the source, from being, from love, from consciousness. The healing comes from that, from presence, which is impersonal. That's a fascinating thing about presence. It's like, it's not my presence. the mind cannot grasp presence. Thoughts appear in presence, in awareness. You know, such shit, you know, so everything appears within such shit.
Even though, hate to call it, even though all that is being done is to be available and present without any expectations for whatever is arising moment to moment. There is healing happening, is what I hear from you. Even I'm not approaching this like I want to heal or anything. All that I'm saying is, if you have to be open to anything that's arising, sometimes what's arising is not consistent with my understanding of my pure self, right? And that's what my question was, like, what's arising is not.
In fact, but a better way of saying it is that it's not so much about being present to what is arising, because you have no option but to be present to what is arising. It's already arising.
Agree.
It's rather not to add on to what is arising any sort of personal endeavor, which most often it's resisting and seeking.
Yes,
I want the goodies and I don't want what's, you know, what
exactly.
I don't like, right? So it's just seeing that this mechanism of resisting and seeking is too much effort. it's you know, and it's also like a pipe dream. You cannot resist what already is on board. It already is. And you cannot see something which is not on board because it's not there. So it's in vain. It's spinning a wheel. Resisting and seeking is spinning a wheel with exerting all sorts of energy without going anywhere. So in a way, when we speak about effortless presence or effortless awareness, the emphasis is about the effortlessness. In fact, the effort is in setting up the veils. The effort is in recalling our patterns and bringing on board our rehearsed responses, which we've rehearsed for so many years, and they're all so painful, but somehow we've become sort of immune to the pain. It's like, oh, we're not feeling it, you know. But if we stop for a minute and take a look, we find that, you know, resistance and seeking is painful. So in relaxing the tendency to resist and to seek, and again, you know, it's a process, it's a path of love. Okay, it's not like, oh my God, this is what we need to do. It's a path of love. It's playful, it's sweet. To appreciate, to love the path, the journey, which it can include, you know, deep sorrow. You're speaking about sorrow. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, yes, I get it. It's okay. Somehow there are no mistakes, you know. in the cosmos. God is a loving God. That's one way of saying it, in religious, language. It's all love. And the mind cannot grasp it all. Some things it can grasp, it can comprehend, but love will bathe the mind, comes onto the mind, onto the body. And there's a sweetness then, a sweetness in our experience. Peace in the mind and the body.
Thank you.
Nice to see you, Sudha.
Thank you so much.
So I hear you're coming to the retreat.
In April. Yep.
See each other.
To Temecula. Hope to see you then.
Absolutely. Yes. Any questions? Hello, Anisha.
Hello, Magdi.
Yes.
It's so good to be again after such a long time.
Good to see you. Yes.
Yes. So, Magdi, I heard you twice today, like the mind cannot grasp the presence. So, what I have understood by now is that mind is inert. So, how
is it what?
Mind is inert? It's all consciousness, what it is.
Yeah.
So how can the mind even grasp it? It is always not the veil of consciousness or consciousness playing the game of veil and being the mind. So I really want to understand it, like when you use this term, when mind cannot grasp it. So what does it mean?
Yes. So first, just to very quickly define mind, when I say mind, I'm referring mostly to thoughts and to perceptions and sensations. So by mind, I'm referring to the phenomenal realm, that which is perceived. We perceive thoughts, and we perceive perceptions, we perceive the world, and the body, sensations, right? So there isn't an actual, there isn't like something which is called mind. It's just a concept used to refer to the realm of perceptions. Now, the realm of perceptions, thoughts, for example, let's just stay with thinking. Thoughts appear with an awareness. They appear to you. You perceive the thought, but you is awareness. In other words, the body, named Anisha, a body does not perceive. An object does not, does not perceive. An object is perceived. So a body, female body, is perceived. Thoughts are perceived. You perceive the body, you perceive the thoughts, you perceive, quote unquote, mind. You perceive mind. You meaning presence, awareness, consciousness. So that which is perceived does not perceive that which perceives it, right? So that which is known is not knowing. It is known. That which is known is not knowing. knowingness belongs to consciousness. Knowingness belongs to you. You meaning awareness, consciousness, not you, the body, mind. That is called anicca. So then when we say that the mind cannot understand or perceive or comprehend consciousness, we're saying that which is perceived does not perceive or cannot perceive, will never perceive, does not have the perceiving capacity that belong to the perceiver.
Exactly.
Yes. So we have a tendency in our language to refer to the term mind as if there is an entity or something called the mind, an entity called mind, an extension of myself is as if there is me and my mind in the colloquial way of speaking. So then we say, well, my mind is thinking this, or my mind is doing that, or my mind is, But when you take a look at it, you find that it's just a way of speaking. In fact, there isn't an actual mind which is thinking. Thoughts
It's
appear.
yeah.
Thoughts
That is capable of thinking.
Right. We believe there is a mind capable of thinking, meaning capable of choosing thoughts or creating thoughts, or right. So that's just a model that is not exact model. A more exact model that arises out of our experience is that thoughts appear within awareness because they're perceived. I mean, there is a perceiving aspect, a knowing aspect, and there is the known aspect. So yes, sometimes, I speak about the mind cannot know that which knows it. It's just a way of speaking. Because I know that there isn't such a thing as a mind, but most of the teaching, if not all of it, is suggestive,
Suggestion.
metaphorical, is metaphorical. So it's not, it's not about deciphering word by word. Oh, well, that's an incorrect, this sentence was incorrect. No, it's the meaning that is being portrayed in the sharing. So words are just like vehicles. What matters is the message that is being shared and expressed.
Yes, because I realize the journey till here was to comprehend that I am not the mind. Because we have passed so many decades of our life believing whenever we say I know, we always consider it's a mind which knows.
Yeah.
But when coming to all such, when the love for the truth appears, and then when the inquiry happens, then when you realize it's not the mind that knows, but it is the consciousness that knows. Yes, so it is
and you are
yes,
and I consciousness, and that consciousness is not personal.
Yes.
It's not arising out of your thinking. It's not arising out of your heartbeat. It's not arising out of the activity of your brain. It is not located within your body. It's not located within your room or your house. It has no phenomenal attributes.
Yeah.
And it is that which is always on board, as a way of speaking. It's always that which is real, which is there, which is real, which you can count on, while your thoughts, your memories, your sensations, your house, all of that is constantly shifting. But you can always count on presence, on awareness, on consciousness. It's always there. And so the reality is formless. But up to now, our human understanding is coming to the edge. Is starting to sort of veer towards that the possibility of that understanding. Wait a minute, maybe matter is actually not matter. Maybe there is the reality of matter is not matter. Yeah, definitely that's the direction that it's bound. I mean, because science is always progressing, it's bound to be moving, in that direction, because it's what it is. That's the design. It's the understanding about reality is the understanding about the designer. So you study the design, you're studying the design, but at some point you have to come to the designer to really comprehend the design. You cannot fully comprehend the design without comprehending the design.
Mm.
To comprehend the designer, you're going to have to disrobe. You're going to have to sort of dematerialize. You're going to have to go from the material to the non-material. I don't know how science is going to do that. It's going to be very fascinating to sort of observe this process. Yeah. So coming back to, what we really care about is to explore our experience as universal being, universal consciousness. So your body is the cosmos. The world and you are not two. To sort of invite yourself to this sort of exploration and openness to that understanding. And that understanding will reveal itself to you experientially.
I'm certain about it.
Yes, me too.
Thank you.
Okay, lovely to see you, Anisha. Yes, glad. Okay. Yes. Any questions? So, very lovely to
Very lovely.
see you all. Yes.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you all. Lovely to see you. Yes. Hola, Maria. You're driving, huh?
hi, I'm with Catalina in the car.
Oh, hello, Kata. Yes, yes. Lovely to
We're
see you.
listening to you while we go to the beach. We hope you
Oh,
come here.
nice. Yes. Oh, enjoy the beach. Yeah, yeah. I would love to go to the beach.
You are right. No, are you at the beach? No, you're in the desert.
Not, I don't know. Temecula is not the desert, but it's not the beach, right? It's in between the desert and the beach.
Well, we can't wait for you to come end of April. And
Okay.
maybe Hooker would want to come too. That would be great. Or anyone else in the Sangha. Everyone's welcome. It'll be so lovely.
Okay, it sounds good. Yeah, we will explore that. We'll firm things up. With Jenny.
Yes.
Yes, beautiful.
Yes, wonderful.
Okay.
Mighty, what did I hear about? There's a retreat in Temecula, did you say? I heard you.
Francis has two retreats, 2 weeks, right? In Suda and
Yeah, 19th to 26th is one, and 26th to some
I
other day. Did I hear you're planning a retreat in Costa Rica like last year? Is that what? You guys are, what is this talking about? This retreat is?
It's not yet firm. We just
Okay.
talking about,
Glory.
visiting, going to Costa Rica and visiting friends. We'll see how it goes.
I remember it happening last March. I think that's when I first started attending the Satsang. I remember, yes.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. Bye, everybody. Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, yeah.
Ciao.